What's up, Ronnie?
What's up, Mark?
Not a whole lot of. I'd like to thank you for joining me to be my first guest on Smart Remarks.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome, man. I'm going to thank you again because you don't know how awesome this is going to be. I think the stuff that you got to talk about is going to be pretty legit. I think people are going to find it interesting.
Well, I hope so. I tend to think of myself as boring.
As boring?
Yeah.
Why? Why do you consider yourself boring?
I don't like really going out and doing things.
Oh, man.
Yeah. It saves money, especially when you don't have any.
You got to go out and chase them ladies, Ron.
Negatory ghostwriter.
All right. Well, give the viewers and listeners just kind of brief intro of who you are, Ron. I mean, just something quick.
Well, wow.
Name, age, stuff like just give me a little rundown.
My name's Ronnie Cooper. I'm 39. I was born in Odessa, Texas. I lived in Andrews, Texas for the vast majority of my life.
Okay. So Andrews is safe to say your hometown?
For right now.
For right now, until you find another home?
Well, until I get my legal troubles over with.
Okay, we'll get into that later. I know exactly what you're talking about, Ron. Okay. So, all right, get past all the razzle-dazzle.
Yeah.
The reason why I brought you here is because I wanted to talk about you and an accident that you had when you were younger.
Yes. Interesting.
It was your infamous accident that I've always heard through, like my cousin and his friends, which that's how I know you, through family member. Yeah. And it really affected your life after that accident.
It really did. I was in the best shape of my life. I had about 7% body fat, 177 pounds. I could run 10 miles straight without stopping.
God damn, that's a lot of running.
Yeah.
You were like fucking Sylvester Stallone, Rocky IV.
More string bean version.
String bean? Yeah. So you were like a Drago then.
That was 5.5 months of Harris County boot camp.
Oh, okay. Then that sounds like another story.
Oh yeah, completely. There's a lot to talk about that.
We're gonna have a whole fucking Ronnie series.
Yeah. Oh, I've got so much stories inside me.
From the stuff that they haven't heard from you told me, I already know so.
Yeah.
And so we just have to break this shit down.
I've got a photographic memory, especially for bad things.
That's not a good thing, though.
I learned.
You need the photographic memory for great stuff.
I learned from my mistakes, though.
What about photographic memory for like pretty women?
You
just like remember?
It's just not really some. I mean, I like a pretty woman. Don't get me wrong.
But do you remember the bad ones more?
I do.
We all do.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's always that saying, though. Don't put your dick in crazy, Ronnie.
Well. Or don't put your hands anywhere you won't put your dick. So
that's another good one.
Yeah.
That's another good one. All right, so let's get back to the accident. Let's get to the beginning of it. So when did this happen? Like how old were you?
I believe I was 22 years old.
22?
Yeah.
Okay.
October the 23rd, 2001.
And I imagine you remember that date like nothing, right?
It stuck with me.
Yeah. It was a pretty traumatic experience.
Yes. I left with two friends, or supposed friends, to go to Shafter Lake. And I was just going out there with the intent to see the stars, have a few beers, enjoy myself. And then they decided to leave me out there to go back to town and fuck or whatever. And I didn't let them. I jumped on top of the van and grabbed onto the luggage rack and held on to the lease roads out there in the oil field. When you got to the blacktop and the speeds increased, and either they stomped the brakes or they swerved, and I fell off. I don't remember that, thankfully. But I fell off, and the doctor said that I hit the ground at anywhere between 50 to 70 miles an hour. And landed on my ear and my head and tumbled around. That knocked me out, tumbled around like a rag doll. A bunch of compression fractures in my neck and my back, and one was actually split. A vertebrae was split in my back. Yeah, very traumatic.
That sounds fucking brutal.
Yeah. Oh, I hit so hard. I was flopping around so much. I knocked my fingernails so bad that they all fell out.
Bro, if I would have been one of the people like in the van, like I would have been like freaking out.
I imagine they were.
Yeah, because they had to think you're like fucking dead, right?
Yeah, I'm thankful they turned around and picked me back up. They could have left me out there to be coyote food.
They're fucking lucky they didn't, because if you would have died, they would have been in big trouble.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Wow.
Life changer.
They wanted to go. Why? I mean, but I don't understand. Like, why would they leave you? Why wouldn't they just take you and drop you off somewhere?
They thought it would be funny to have me out there in the middle of nowhere and have to walk 12 miles through the dark, I guess.
That's funny?
To some people, I guess. I don't know.
Were they going to come get you after they fucked?
I doubt it. I would have made it in 4 hours.
How far was it, like, back into town?
About 12 miles.
That's some dickhead shit.
Yeah.
And y'all were friends?
Well, not anymore, really.
I mean, but at the time, though, I mean, y'all... Those are fucked up friends.
Yeah. Oh, I've had my fair share of them. I've been scraping them off as I reveal them as their true natures.
So when y'all were out there, y'all were having some drinks and stuff?
Yeah.
Y'all were drinking?
That's just a couple beers. It wasn't nothing crazy. It's not like a whole ice chest or anything.
Right. And you dived on the...
Yeah, I don't. Thankfully, like I said, I don't remember. I'm glad I don't remember.
Yeah. So you were a little like, you were drunk to the point where you couldn't remember that?
Well, the last thing I remember is looking through the windshield and flipping them off. And then I wake up 8 days later in the Midland hospital.
Like fucking, well, you went out like Bruce Willis or something. Fucking Die Hard style.
I was pissed because they wouldn't stop. I remember that.
You were like, fuck you. They were.
I was mad. I don't know about Bruce Willis style, but I was pissed.
Yeah, you was just like fucking.
I wanted him to stop. That was bullshit.
That's some Keanu Reeves shit.
Everybody jokes around that I was playing Teen Wolf and van surfing.
That's exactly what you were doing. With the bushy blonde hairdo.
Surfing USA.
Nah, but that's no joke though, man. That, like, you could have fucking died, like, for real.
I should have. I don't know why I didn't. People die
because you got purpose, Ronnie.
People die when they fall off vehicles at 20 miles an hour.
That's very true. It doesn't take much for you to fucking die. Like, you know.
Oh, and I definitely know I have purpose though. Like you just said,
you got purpose, bro. I'm gonna tell you
for a reason, and I actually kind of drove myself a little mad, questioning why I lived. But I did, and then once I got past that and quit questioning it, I had a little bit more peace.
Well, it could have been a lot worse because I've met like a younger gentleman who was in an accident who like he has to use a walker. He has like severe brain trauma, stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
So for you to like fly off a moving vehicle, roll around like a rag doll, and then still be here to walk, talk pretty normal, but you have some, you know, you got some physical issues. You're very lucky. And I'm going to tell you, like a older Filipino man told me, you still got purpose, my friend.
Definitely. Oh, and I know I do. Now I especially know I do. There's God's hand is at work here.
There you go. I mean, you're here for a reason. How many fucking sperm cells are there? And you were the first one to get there, Ronnie.
Out of millions.
Out of millions. You were the fastest of all the millions of sperm cells to get here in the first place. And for you to be taken out by a fucking Chrysler minivan?
Yeah.
That's not.
And I'm buying another one from your dad. Same exact model, man.
Don't you think you want to stay away from the fucking minivans?
It's for my darling future wife.
Okay. Well, that's very nice of you. But just, you know, don't be jumping on that van.
Oh, no. I won't even get on the back of a golf cart, man. I tried doing that at the Andrews golf course. And they started getting all stupid, and I was just like, no, I stepped off. Because I know. I'm not going to do that.
Because you've been through some real shit.
Yeah.
So you're not going to play those types of games.
Never again. Not even in the bed of a pickup. I mean, I'll sit down, but no crazy stuff.
So you said you don't know if they swerved or hit the brakes?
No. Being that it's all my injuries are on the left side of my body, I tend to think that I fell off the side. Because if they would have pushed the brakes,
you would have went forward.
And they would have ran over me.
Ooh, yeah.
So I think they swerved.
But damn, like, how fast do you have to go as like the driver or whatever to be like let's like chill out before he falls off. How like do you? So I guess you don't remember like how quick it happened from when you jumped on to like when you fell off.
That whole part from jumping on to that part, I'll just remember that part where I'm flipping them off and they were all happy, laughing and shit. I wasn't having fun. I wasn't.
So you were like mad at that, like you were on you were upset.
If they would have just gently coasted to stop.
Get the hand, get the foot off the brake.
I could have had a bit of a different life.
Jeez.
According to the state of Texas, I'm not disabled, so it is what it is.
All right. So one of the obvious injuries that you can see is, because you landed on your ear, is the missing cartilage on your ear.
It's the outer ear. I've got my earlobe. Thankfully that's got plenty of blood vessels in it, so it didn't die off. But the rest of it died. They tried to save it, but there's no blood flow right there, so it just slowly necrotized and died away.
Like when you knew that it wasn't gonna that it was gonna fall off, or like how did you feel about that? Like were you pissed off? I'd have been pissed off. I
can't really remember anymore.
Oh, okay.
It was very traumatic physically and emotionally.
Yeah.
I know that. I didn't go outside for probably 2 or 3 years.
You ever have any incidents where like people, I guess, like make fun of your ear or something?
Oh, yeah.
Really? That Definitely. Don't know you?
Well, when I was in jail.
Oh, okay.
Your cousin called me Freddy Krueger today.
Wow.
I can't bite the hand that feeds, so.
Why do you call you Freddy Krueger?
It's just the scars. That guy in jail said that too.
Well, if minus the ear though, because you got the facial, like you look kind of like that.
Freddy Krueger's whole face is all messed up.
I know he's burnt up. I wouldn't have never said you look like Freddy Krueger though.
Whenever it first happened, I had scabs all the way to my nose. And thankfully, all those healed up. I only got scars back over here.
Yeah, I can see where there is some scar tissue and damage. But, I mean, it doesn't look like anything more that, you know.
I mean, once people get to know me over time, it's like they don't even notice it no more. But other people do. Like small children.
Right, and then they point that shit out, don't they?
And it used to bother me, but it really doesn't no more. I mean, maybe that's just wisdom.
Now, so you told me a little quick story one time about like small children.
Yeah.
You told me about an incident, or not an incident, but just this, an occasion where you were walking down the street because you don't have a car, or like a car that you can drive around town because there's some stuff you got to do to it, right?
Yeah.
So
I was outside of my car in the driveway of your cousin's house.
Oh, so you weren't walking anywhere?
No.
Oh, okay. They were passing by you though, right?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about now.
And what did the little girl tell you?
It was a little girl and her mom, I guess, walking from the daycare. But she goes, I was wearing a raggedy set of coveralls. And she goes, "Ooh, scary." And I looked. And I was like, oh, she's just a little kid. Oh, well, they're innocent. They don't have filters yet. They just observe and say things. But her mom started dragging her quicker down the street.
Yeah, because I mean, you're working on your car and you're in coveralls. I mean, that makes sense, right? Well, it's not like you were
Michael Myers or something.
Well, you weren't standing around wearing underwear on the street drinking beer. You were doing
just messing around.
Yeah, you were working on a car in coveralls. That makes sense. And then for the little girl to be like, "Ooh, scary."
Yeah. Well, I mean, you got to look at it. There's possibly, I mean, I don't know if I fully believe in it, but people can see auras too. I know my friend that passed away that my wife was held responsible, ex-wife was held responsible for killing. She could see auras. And she said I had a very bright aura. I mean, and I just humored her about it, but maybe that stuff's true. I don't know. I don't see halos and auras around people.
Well, I can get, good vibes from people, bad vibes from people and stuff like that. Yeah. You've always been a very calm, relaxed person. I haven't hung around you so much to where like...
Well, you haven't seen me in my manic state.
Yeah, I haven't seen you in none of that. But
it's really just like someone on speed, pretty much.
Okay. But for the most part, I mean, you seem like the regular guy,
I wish that I was. But I'm working on it. I'm not being.
I would say maybe you're, for the stuff that you've been through, I think you handle it pretty good for the most part, because I mean, like, let's say like if you're homeless or you're verge of homeless, like there's people out there that like, you can tell they're like they have a bunch of they have a mental issue or something, Oh, like definitely. Like we can.
Oh, I'm mild.
Yeah, like you're
very mild. Get me on the proper medication, I'll be cool as the Fonz.
And right now you're on a medication, right?
I am, actually. It's called Seroquel. It's an antipsychotic.
And you take that for, you told me before, so it's hold on. I'm messing up bio. What are you, a fucking chemical or something?
Hey,
bipolar schizoaffective disorder.
Yeah.
All right, there you go. I got it.
I believe the bipolar part just because of the craziness of my life, but the schizoaffective, the schizophrenic thing, I don't hear things or see things. I don't think I have mass delusion. But they're basing it on my paranoia.
What would be some of your paranoia?
Well, I won't totally go into total detail on that.
Well, just give me like one example of what, like...
I'm telling the truth. That our government doesn't really care about us, and we're just tax donkeys to further their military-industrial complex.
You may have a lot of people that agree with you.
Not the mental health providers.
Well, I mean, like, if somebody told me that, I'd be like, well, it's, it's a matter of opinion, but
we were warned by President Eisenhower before he left office. It's on YouTube.
I'll have to look that up.
Yeah, it's interesting.
But, I mean, that wouldn't be like, you're super paranoid. You know what I mean?
It's not like I'm doing a bunch of coke looking out the window or anything.
Yeah, if you had said, like, I hear people crawling on my roof every night, and you're looking out the window.
I see my dead grandmother crawling up my leg with a knife in her teeth.
That's fucking weird.
But I don't. I mean, that's from a movie. I can't remember.
Right. But, yeah, if somebody, like, you don't have those things going on. Yeah. But, yeah, so that would seem like I guess it's the way that they think about what you're saying, right? So... And I guess they're not helping you to the full extent that they could be helping you.
It's a free program that I'm going to. If I can go to a private doctor, I can get proper care.
Okay.
But I mean, like I said, I'm just mild. It's just whenever I get in stressful situations, I don't handle them properly. I really don't.
And then, like, what? Anxiety's a role in that?
Anxiety, and then I just snap. And I say everything that I've been thinking in my mind up until that point. It comes out, but comes out like an ultra rage monster. And if I'm working somewhere and quit doing that, I'm usually peeling out in my car, leaving the parking lot.
You turn into the Incredible Hulk.
Except for turning green.
Well, you're wearing a green shirt now, so
I am.
Don't you go Hulk on me.
No.
I'm just playing. That's why I got the beard.
Hey, I'm chill. Thank you.
That prevents you from going Hulk.
It's my anti-Hulk.
Until you had hard liquor, and then you're going Hulk.
Yeah, don't feed me the fire water.
No, I don't want to do that.
I got to be in a stellar mood to be drinking hard liquor.
That hard liquor does something to people, and there's always that one liquor that, like, fucks people up.
Jack Daniels, I want to stay away from that for the rest of my life.
Tequila's my bad one.
Vodka, if I... spend a whole paycheck on it, but I'm not going to reenact the past.
No. Tell me that cool thing that you told me. It was called Playgrounds, like the picture of the octopus on the head when you went to boot camp or something.
I guess the ministry there, they had one of them big sketch pads that's put on was it easel, I guess?
Mm-hmm.
And he had a diagram of a I guess a little kid with a green octopus on his head, and with the tentacles reaching around his skull, and that's their diagram of the bad thoughts trying to re-enter your mind. But playmates and playgrounds, that's something I learned from Alcoholics Anonymous.
Alcoholics Anonymous, yeah.
Yes, and that's just when you associate with former, I guess, friends, whoever, even if they aren't friends, what would you call it?
Associates?
There you go. Associates, there's other words too, and places where you were in a bad place in the past, you have a higher chance of relapsing into that behavior.
Oh, okay. In relation to alcohol.
Yeah, alcohol, drugs.
Whatever the substance abuse was. Yeah. Okay. I thought that was pretty neat when you said that, because I think you can kind of apply that to like other stuff too.
I've picked up some things here and there, and they stick with me. Like,
Ronnie, you got some game on you, Ronnie.
I wish.
Yeah, you were telling me that you back in the day, or whenever you'd be on social media sites, you had some text game going on there.
Oh,
we'll get to that in a minute. One thing that I wanted to ask you was, so after the accident, what was recovery like for you?
They made me wear a back brace for 6 months, which I only wore for 4. And I probably should have wore it longer. They gave me that for the worst fracture. It was in my mid back. It was actually a real fracture. It wasn't a compression fracture.
Okay.
Compression fractures are where you turn bones into wedge shapes. And that's what I did to, I think, 4 or 5 vertebrae in my neck and 6 or 7 in my back, including that bad fracture.
Ouch.
Very ouch. Like, it still hurts whenever I overexert myself.
So you have those back injuries with the vertebrae.
Yeah, it's a constant pain.
And you mentioned that you broke your neck, right?
Yeah. But it's those were just compression fractures.
Okay.
Right there.
That's part of the vertebrae stuff too?
Yeah.
That still sounds...
I was flopping around. I squished up like an accordion when that happened. I can't even tell you the contortions I was in because I was unconscious flopping around.
That's insane.
It's very insane. I'm just glad they turned around and picked me up.
I'd have been scared, bro. Like, super scared.
Well, they just dumped me off in front of the emergency room and went and took off to clean the blood up out of the van.
That is super fucked up.
Yeah.
And I imagine, like, y'all weren't cool after that, right?
No, I actually saw the dude who was held responsible for it in a supermarket there in Andrews, and I went up to him and just going to pat him on the shoulders.
Right, and he thought you were going to fucking murder him.
He thought I was going to knock him out or something. He reared back.
Yeah, because
I wasn't going to do that. I just trying to say, hey.
Yeah, you're like the grandma going up his leg.
Well, I'm pretty sure he's had reservations towards me for putting him in prison for that, because he was on probation for it, but he put himself in prison, if I think about it, because he had 21 infractions on it to revoke his probation. They gave him a lot of chances.
So when that accident report came out and stuff, and then he was involved in it, like that's what kind of did him in on it, or what?
I've been told that it wasn't even him driving; it was the chick.
Oh, okay.
He fell on the sword for her, so to speak. But there's no way to prove it now. Court documents have him as the person responsible.
So just being a part of that is what, and then him being on probation is what got him in trouble, right?
Well, he got probation because of
that. Oh, he got probation because of that.
And he ended up
and then he had infraction after that.
And going to prison. So if I were him, even though...
Well, you didn't put him in prison.
I didn't, but I would hold reservations anyways. So it's good that I don't associate with him anymore.
Probably not. And I'm pretty sure he's paranoid that you're going to club him from behind.
Well, there's probably a lot of people like that. It's not like I have a list.
Right.
I tend to let go of a lot of things unless it's something serious, like where I got kicked out here. Well, not my family, but the place I went to after that was some bullshit. I got beat up.
Like you got punched, like kicked, like
punched,
like attacked.
Face. No, I've had a lot worse ass whoopings than that, but it's supposed to have been a close friend.
But he gave you a 2-piece and a biscuit. Pretty much. And they're your friends.
Not anymore.
That's just like the same thing that happened with the van.
Yeah, I guess I'm getting rid of people that I don't need.
And you're getting beat up for it. So in general, like what's life been like for you after the accident?
I've always been a little bit off, to be honest.
Off like how?
Very unsociable, a real negative attitude, not wanting to really participate in social events. And then after that, it just got even worse. So. And
you've always been like that? There's like no cause to it? I mean, like you were just
I'm just going to blame it on not having a father figure and other events in my youth.
Okay. So when you were really younger, like let's say like a young teenager, what were you doing? Like just playing a lot of video games, smoking weed?
Well, yeah. And then I dropped out of high school and just smoked weed and played video games for a whole year. And then my mom said, hey, you need to get your GED. Get out there and go study for it. And I'm like, oh, I'll go do the practice test at the adult literacy program. I took the practice test, passed it, gave Odessa College my $40, took the GED, passed it.
And how old were you? Please don't
17.
say. Okay, I thought you were going to say like 21.
No.
Oh, okay.
17, yeah. I'm good at tests, actually. It's just actually showing the work on my math and stuff like that. The teachers didn't like that.
Yeah, it's not like you're not intelligent.
If I was smarter, I wouldn't have put myself in all these crappy situations, I think.
There's a difference between you can be intelligent, but then still make bad choices.
That's true. And that's where I'm being hard on myself.
Yeah, really you can be really good at math in your head and be 24 times 24 is, I don't know the number. But
my subject is science, actually. I'm actually, at some point, I want to be a meteorologist.
I can see you as any science. I can see you in a lab coat and fucking with beakers and doing this shit.
It's actually kind of a quote from one of the Back to the Future movies, but I am a student of all sciences.
That you are, Ronnie.
Fascinating.
That you are. I've always wanted to study the science of ladies.
Well,
I'm still learning. I'm learning.
There's a bit of an art in there, too.
There is an art form in there. There's a big art form to that. So, I mean, that has to play a huge role. I guess you mentioned it being negative and not socializing so much. And so
it's still there, too.
So, I mean, it obviously still affects you to this point. But let's say for your injuries and now or in your adult life, has that played a role in appearance and dating women? Has that affected anything?
Much.
When you...
I actually tell them beforehand.
Oh, okay.
I get all the bad stuff out at the beginning. And if they run away from that point, I'm
then
okay.
Yeah, it's not like you show up like this.
Yeah.
And then
no.
And then you're like, are you ready? And you turn around and then you show them.
No, I get that out of the way at the first. Thankfully, I don't have to do that anymore because I have a darling woman who wants to marry me.
Well, good for you. I hope y'all have a lot of kids.
I hope we have at least 5 or 6 because they're going to have to take care of our old asses.
That's how I'm starting to process having kids now because I had to go visit my grandfather in the nursing home. He's doing some rehab, but he's going back home. But I seen the other people that are actual residents there. Yeah. And I seen this one old man, and he would just sit there at the same table looking up. And I don't think there was a TV up there, but he had this sad look on his face. And I was like, I don't want to be that. I need to have 6 more kids because one of them is going to take care of me. There's going
to be a little army.
Yeah, there needs, I want to be what's his name? For or Cousin Eddie from National Lampoon's.
Okay.
Yeah. However many kids Cousin Eddie and his wife have. I need to have that many.
That actor, he is one of the Quaids.
He is.
Yeah, he kind of went off the reservation here in the last few years.
Little bit.
It makes me look very mild.
It's Randy Quaid.
Yeah, Randy Quaid.
Yeah. I like Randy. He's funny.
His brother actually is doing all them insurance commercials right now.
That's right, Dennis.
Yep.
I know old Dennis.
I like him in Enemy Mine with Louis Gossett Jr.
Man, that's a classic movie.
It is.
What do you know about Dreamscape?
Dreamscape. I don't know if I've seen that.
That's where he's in it, and then there's another actor. You know the guy from the little actor from the Warriors, where he clinks the bottles on his fingers. Warriors.
I guess not.
Okay, well,
Dreamscape.
That little guy was in the movie with Dennis Quaid. And it's something about being in a dream state, and there's this snake-like cobra. It used to freak me the fuck out when I was a kid. I don't even want to see it right now. I don't even know why I'm talking about it. I don't even know why don't watch it tonight. No. You're going to be freaked out of your fucking mind.
My girlfriend, she likes some scary movies. I'm not really a fan of them because they're corny and predictable, in my opinion. Right.
But yeah, go look up, I think it's called Dreamscape. It's where that little guy, I don't know his name as an actor, but he turns into a fucking walking cobra. And and they're in this dream state, and they're always like in some tunnels or some shit. It's been that movie was made in the early 80s, but don't watch it, bro, at night because you'll freak out. It's probably corny now, but
I remember having to watch movies with my stepsisters, and there was one that we watched, The Gate.
Oh yeah, that's a classic movie.
After watching that, I had to think of Garfield to go to sleep, like the cartoon Garfield.
Oh, okay. Why Garfield?
Because he would protect Garfield and Odie, and it was nice and innocent, and it wasn't scary like that.
Oh, I thought you were thinking of Garfield and Odie because they would protect you.
No, it was to get the evil.
You were thinking about something really
movie out of my head. I remember that vividly.
Yeah, that was a little creepy. You've been bad, Ronnie. Remember that part?
No sacrifices.
Yeah. So with dating, I mean, you have a girlfriend, you have a wife now, or girlfriend now. We're not gonna.
I'll be getting married hopefully in December. Gotta start making some money, but it'll happen.
Well, I hope you do, and I'll bring you a bottle then.
Cool. Thank you.
No Jack Daniels though.
No.
I don't want you flipping out and getting in trouble.
Maybe just some kind of cheap champagne or something.
Cheap? No, you don't want cheap champagne. I'll get you some good shit. You don't want that kind of hangover.
When I take my medicine, my Seroquel, it don't matter.
I'll get you something that the rappers drink.
Okay.
I'll get you some Dom Perignon or something. That's like 90s rapper shit. I mean, get you some shit Jay-Z would drink.
Well, I know I had some really sparkling white champagne one time, and it was a big giant bottle.
Yeah.
Got so drunk off that. Tried to throw it down out of the window going down the highway, and it would not break.
Now your fingerprints are on it, and they have the evidence.
Oh man, that was over 20 years ago.
So when you were dating,
you
use social media sites?
I actually use just two places. They're free. OkCupid and Plenty of Fish.
Where'd you have the best luck at?
Plenty of Fish.
Why?
I don't know why. I really don't. I can't explain it.
No.
I think on OkCupid, the reason why I didn't have so much luck is because you're kind of forced into answering questions if you want to get responses.
Right.
And
what were some of the questions?
Oh, man, well, I can remember one off the top of my head.
Like, was one of them like, do you have a job?
Which one's bigger, the sun or the earth?
What kind of question is that?
Well, I mean, if you think of it physically, it's the sun. But if you think of it metaphysically, it's going to be the earth.
Well, now you're just confusing yourself. Because how do you know which question they're asking?
Well, I would answer. They give you a place to make an explanation for your answer at the bottom, and I would always leave explanations, and that just helps you get to know a person. So you want to put your info out there,
right?
And that's where I met my darling girlfriend, my future wife.
But before you met her, I know you had to go through some.
Yeah. Oh, and it was Plenty of Fish. Yeah. Lots of crazy people on the internet. Crazier than me, that's for certain.
A lot of crazy people. You told me, I guess, I don't know if you met her through there or something, but you had like where you picked up, or y'all were meeting up and you picked her up, and
oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So what happened? Yeah,
the mustache lady.
Oh my gosh.
That was through Plenty of Fish, and she worked as a assistant manager at a convenience store. But picked her up at her friend's house, and she wanted to go to Walmart for our date. And that's like some super hunky shit right there.
Dang.
But we would hold hands walking through the aisles, and I mean, what are you going to do?
Did you think it was weird that she wanted to go to Walmart?
I did, actually, but
you just went with it.
I did. And
you didn't want to be there.
Not really, no.
What did you want to do?
I would rather have gone to a movie, even though I don't like doing movie dates. But in that situation, I would rather have gone to a movie, or maybe gone and got some coffee.
Would you have tried to cop a feel at the movies?
Probably not.
Okay, you weren't going to be that aggressive.
Well, I mean, the stubble on stubble.
Yeah, let's get to the greasy part.
I can't really remember a whole bunch, and I feel bad about talking bad about her.
Yeah, not talking bad. I mean, if her hair was purple, her hair was purple. Yeah. If she happened to have a mustache, then she had a mustache.
I mean, the past is a past, too.
Right. I bet you that mustache is still there.
I do remember it.
But I ask you about that because you told me that she like kind of, her attitude changed, right? From the communication part when you picked her up.
It did, actually. She saw me pull up in my junky red Camaro.
But it's a classic.
Well, yeah. It's going to look really good when I'm done with it. I've actually got a parts car that I'm working on taking the parts off here. As a matter of fact, tomorrow I'm getting a transmission jack and a hoist to pull the transmission and lift the engine out.
You're on your way, one piece at a time.
One piece at a time. There's actually a Johnny Cash song called that.
Really?
Yeah.
Now I feel cool.
One piece at a time, and it didn't cost me a dime. You'll know it's me when I come through your town.
That sounds like drinking music.
I can't remember the rest. Damn it.
But when you picked her up, like you noticed the change, right?
I did.
Because y'all were communicating before. Like, how was she before you picked her up? And then, like, what was it? Just
all the lovey-dovey stuff. And she showed me show up in this junky Camaro at her friend's house. Maybe I embarrassed her in front of her friend. I don't know.
But what did she do? She's like talked less, or she's not?
Well, I mean, it's just the demeanor changed, the sweetness changed.
Right. All that shit she was talking during text, she's not doing in person, right? Yeah. Like, what did she say to you during text?
Maybe, I might not have mentioned my ear too to her. Yeah, possibly.
You didn't get that stuff out of the way at first.
I didn't. I think I learned some lessons here in the early 2000s.
Let me see. So if you're driving on the left side and you pick her up, she's going to see it. Yeah. Well, yeah, right? Because it's on or what side is it on for you? Oh, it's on the left side. No. Okay. Yeah. So maybe.
But I got out to greet her. That's when everything changed, really.
So you kind of felt like she held that against you.
Maybe.
That's fucked up.
I don't have to worry about that no more.
That's good. Because maybe you dodged a bullet.
Probably so.
Yep. I'm glad you didn't hit that.
Me too, because I probably would have knocked her up.
Wow, bro.
That's how my luck rolls.
That you'll knock up a bad one.
Yeah. Even though I've managed to avoid having a woman who can have children for some reason.
Would you have not used the rubber? Or you would have like took the rubber off? Like
it don't feel right wearing one.
Like you're breaking religious law?
No. Like I don't have the proper sensation. It don't.
That has nothing to do with the accident, though, right?
No.
Oh, okay. But you could use that though.
Probably.
If she said, "Well, we got to use the rubber," and then you're like, "Well, because of the accident, I need to not use the rubber." You could use that to your advantage.
Well,
but it's at your own risk.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you now. You go in caves at your own risk, Ronnie.
Definitely. Yeah. Thankfully, I've only been with this many women.
I'm glad you can count them on both hands.
Yeah. It was this meeting.
Hold on, stop. I didn't mean to. Oh gosh, my voice wasn't supposed to pitch up like that. Oh, you dirty fuck.
You're gonna have to make this a two-parter. I was a class clown in school, and I don't know.
That killed me.
The comedy comes from me naturally.